Hello, freaks and geeks. How are we today? Are we good? Everything all right? I know it's been a while since we've been up here. I've been up as a beaver. Oh God, the kids out here. So what's everybody up to? Oh God, that echoes pretty good. Sorry, my background's a little loud. Boom. Well, we're gonna get into it. Welcome. We're gonna get into this. Hmm. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. About a foot and a half. Not the usual drive home. Well, obviously, she would have taken South Perry straight to Maine and Maine all the way down. And then from, well, South South Perry to East Maine, and then all the way down. I mean, smarter, not harder. There's more. 'Let's see. Oh, there's one for 14 there. Well, one for 14 year ago. Hold on 1 minute. I'll get it playing.
Organizers for the National Missing Persons Tour are now joining the search for 38-year-old kellisue Ackernecht. She was last seen leaving work on September 30th, 2008. Her car turned up engulfed in flames 4 hours later, a few blocks from her home. Today, the Q Center for Missing Children joined Ackernecht's relatives and friends to raise awareness of the unsolved case in hopes of generating some new leads.
Answers. We
Nope,
need something
there it is.
huge in Kelly's case to bring it to the forefront. And as far as missing persons in general, they don't get a lot of attention, and we're just trying to help promote that cause.
And Johnstown police tell us the investigation is still active and urge anyone with any information to just give them a call.
That's number 2. Yeah, we're going over news clippings. What was that? Yeah, what up, Paige? 4, 3. Is that all we got? 4 months ago, 3. Goes from 14 years to 3 years ago. Bruh. You got me twisted. Okay, so we will hit the one up from 4 years ago. It's a big difference between 14 years and 4 years. There's a big gap.
Speaking.
Jason Ackernecht, hi. Jerry Gretzinger, News Channel 13.
Yes.
Glad we're able to connect. I appreciate the time.
Not a problem, my friend.
Hey, so just obviously, TV station, everything we do, we record, so we have a copy of it. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. And just I wanted to get an opportunity to chat with you. We're doing this, we'll do a whole series of these cold cases, and the next one we're working on, which runs tomorrow, is on kellisue.
Yes.
And, I'd spoken with the chief. I've done several interviews on the past, and certainly you're somebody who I wanted to speak to. And we'll get right into it because I know your time is precious. But first of all, let me just ask you, going back to that time, I know right after it was a difficult time for you because, as often is the case, the spouse of someone who goes missing, everybody looks right at the husband or the wife and assumes that they must have had something to do with it. Talk to me about that experience, and kind of answer us what some of the things people were talking about at the time were. If this is an opportunity to say to them, hey, here's what really happened. Are you there?
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Well, what happened was I was sound asleep with my daughter, and my parents had to wake me up because the cops come knocking on the door at early in the morning.
Yeah.
And my stepfather come and woke me up and says, "Is kellisue here?" I says, "No," because I haven't seen her. And I go, "Why? What's going on?" They go, "Cops are here. They want to see you." So I get up, get dressed, go downstairs, and they says, "Your car's on fire down at Frog Hollow." I go, "Excuse me?" So I go with them, and I do what they asked me to do, and we go down there, and yep, that was my car. It was burnt to a crisp. And when my daughter at that time, she wasn't even 7 years old. And what do you tell a 7-year-old? I had to lie to her that day because she had to go to school. And when she come home, sat down, told her that her mother didn't come home from work and we don't know where she is. And they investigated me, and I didn't have a thing to do with it. I was in the clear because I was sound asleep that night. And Dave Gilbo and I were in contact for days on end. And then I had to go get her paycheck that week. And I noticed something strange, but I didn't put two and two together until years later that half her clothes were down at work.
You said she had clothes at work?
Yeah.
What would be the explanation for that?
She was cheating on me with a coworker.
And do you think that had something to do with her disappearance then?
Yes.
No, so the chief, he kind of, when we were chatting, he said, I actually just heard something new.
So keep that in mind. He believed she was cheating on him at work with a workman, coworker. Keep that in mind. Okay? We'll get to why that is relevant here shortly.
From Jason, and he alluded to something about a coworker, that there might have been a plan that he hadn't heard about before. He said, so is this the same thing?
Yes.
So what's the story there? I mean, is there more to it that you're aware of, or?
I've just heard from different people. I don't know their names or like anything, but I've heard from different people that she had an affair with a guy that she worked with. And would have her clothes missing and like this. That's what put two and two together.
And you're saying that.
Hi, Buggy. What's going on? I hope you're all right. We are going over to kellisue woo case. But this is the husband speaking. This is from 4 years ago now. Okay. So we're going over news clippings and what the news has put out. Right now, the husband is, as of this interview, which was obviously 4/28/21, he believes she was cheating on him with a coworker. But keep that in mind.
The clothes were at the Rite Aid?
Yeah, in Amsterdam, right there on Guy Park Avenue.
Huh. I'll have to ask Chief about that. I'm sure this is something that they could verify if there were clothes found or otherwise. And at the time when she disappeared, the amount of her clothes that were in the drawers. I mean, did you notice at the time that there was some missing, or?
Nope.
And police, I'm sure he's got records if they went through and thought to look at that or not. But let me, if you don't mind, and these are kind of the tough questions to ask. But as I said, and you lived it, immediately.
Not a problem. It's what I do.
After this, people looked at you and they said, "Okay, what did Jason do? What did he have to do with this?" So, if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask you straight out to answer the questions people had, and just answer as you would. The first one: did you kill kellisue ackernecht?
I had nothing to do with it. Not at all.
And that was my next question: did you have anything to do at all with her disappearance, or do you know what happened?
I have no clue.
So, I've had a couple of people said, I don't think he did it, but I think he knows. And you're saying you don't know anything about it?
Nope.
What was I going to say?
So as he recants the story, this is about 6 minutes back, okay? As he recants the story, he was woken up by police and instructed to get dressed because his car was found on fire.
Yeah.
So thus far, how did he have anything to do with it?
Here's something too. So how long were you guys married for?
Well,
I mean, long enough to
got-
have an 8-year-old daughter, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So you knew her. I mean, I don't know exactly what your relationship was like. I know the chief said that there were other partners that were in and out of your lives over the years, but you had to know her pretty well. So with the knowledge you had of her, what's your gut telling you today? Is Kellisue alive and out there and decided to just disappear and start over, or do you think something happened to her?
I think she just took off and started her life over again.
So you don't think there was any foul play? You think she just decided she needed a restart?
Yeah.
What? Let me ask you about your daughter. I mean, I spoke to her, and she was very well spoken about her emotions of that day, but she said there is no perfect answer for her because either she finds out that mom was killed, or she finds out that mom up and left and never came back for her. And I know there's been some strain, some stress in your relationship between the two of you. But how as a father what message would you give to her to try to help her deal with whatever the outcome would be?
I talked to her a few times, and I told her that her mother and someone she worked with, they took the night, from what I was told, they took the night deposit and took off out of town.
So that's part of the other guy you talked about from Rite Aid, you're saying that Kellisue and that person took the night deposit and disappeared together?
Yeah.
Huh. Any idea who that person was? Because I'm assuming there would be another individual who would, has kind of disappeared.
I have no clue who he was.
And you've gotten this information just from other people who've talked to you over the years, or?
Yes.
All right, I'll have to talk to the chief about this.
To answer your question, people can think all they want. My accountability in 2008. I believe I was in jail most of that year. So, yeah, about that.
So, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I appreciate you doing this. I wish we could have, connected in person, but I know you're busy and it's hard for us to get out to Johnstown too much. But again, there was such a focus on you initially, and for several years, that had to be difficult. It had to be hard to move on. Do you want anything else you want to say to people who were just so convinced you were involved at the time, and explain to them how you weren't, and how you've tried to rebuild your life after that?
Well, I went to counseling because of all of this, because I had nothing to do with it. And not only that, I was going through I had a medical condition because I was going through seizures.
That brought on by this whole ordeal?
Well, I had that before.
Okay.
And I also had brain surgery.
So that, with all of this, was so much more added stress for you to have to work through.
Exactly.
Are you remarried now?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations on that.
It'll be 2 years in October.
Congratulations. Good for you.
I will get to your questions after this, okay? Let it finish.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, Jason, I do appreciate you taking the time to chat with me here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can ask you about. Some people said the car fire. Jason was he had been a volunteer firefighter, and they made some immediate connection. Oh, he's a volunteer firefighter. He must have started the fire in the car. Was was that your only car at the time? I think the chief said that was the only vehicle you guys had, and you didn't have a lot of money, and therefore it didn't really make sense. Why would you want to,
No, I had two vehicles in my name.
Okay. So it was the Saturn, and you had another, you said?
Yeah, I had a pickup truck.
Okay. But as far as addressing the people who thought, oh, well, he was a volunteer fireman at one point, it makes sense that he would light the car on fire.
No, that ain't. They were all rumors, and you know how rumors are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so the story, the way we're telling this story sort of chronologically, we take the pieces apart, we start at the beginning, we work our way through, we talk about the rumors, and then in our third piece, which is the major piece, it's kind of the resolution of all of that, how they did the test burn on the Saturn, how they said this doesn't look like arson at all, there was the radiator issue in the car. So a lot of that has been written. So what we're going to do is the conversation I'm having with you, I'm going to talk about that at the end of the third piece. And the whole third piece, like I said, is kind of resolving a lot of the questions, a lot of the rumors. But then I'm going to take this conversation and I'm going to take something from it, put it in that last story, and then let people know, you know what, everything else he had to say, we're going to make it available so you can listen for yourself. So that's why I say, if there's anything else that you want to address or put out there, now's the time. Please feel free.
Yeah, I've been proven innocent, and I had nothing to do with anything.
All right, I think that pretty much sums it up. Jason, I appreciate your time. If I ever have another question or something comes out of this other storyline if there's another guy that ran off with her and that something comes up of it, hopefully I can reach out again and just kind of touch base and close that loop if it happens. Is that all right?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time and good luck. And again, congratulations on your new marriage.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Now, from what we get from the ex-husband, she was stepping out on him. And the husband was cleared. So, Twinkle Toes, what you got to ask? That's what I want to know. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? Why, oh, why, where, oh, where?
Where, oh, where? Oh, I'm not worried about all that age, but hey, welcome in. So, Twinkle Toes, how did I get dragged into it? Well, people speculate. People think, oh, well, da 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 da, just because they don't like me, they gotta assume shit. I don't know. Probably because I refused to go over it and I told people don't come knocking on others' doors because you don't know how people are. People change since 2020. And not a lot of people like it when you knock on their doors. You don't know what's going to be on the other side of that door. Ever since COVID came and gone, people have changed. Whether y'all want to admit it or not. No, I did not know her. Happy New Year, H. I didn't know her. First time I ever seen that name, I was sitting in county jail playing with a deck of missing persons cards, playing cards. So, but well, who was that? That would have Hubin. Okay, that would have Hubin. Yeah. But no, I didn't know her. And they got nothing to do with it because they recently hit news this past week. So we'll be going over that when the time comes. But we have, believe, yes, the daughter speaks next. So let's get into it. No. Why would I get questioned about it? You realize they're two different. I lived 2 miles north at the time, right? Just saying.
Your first and last name, how you want to spell them both.
All right, it's Ashley Ackernecht, Ashley
Great. And you are 21 now.
I am 21 now.
All right. How do you pronounce your last name?
Ackernecht.
Ackernecht. Yeah. So, we started before, and I'll
Right.
kind of tailor my questions now to what we'd already started
Okay.
talking about. But, 13 years ago, tell me, how old were you, and how did you first find out about what had happened?
Yeah, so at the time I was 8. My 9th birthday was a couple weeks away. I was laying in bed and I just remember waking up and there was a cop and my grandfather in my room, and I remember like a cop shining a flashlight all over the place, and I was like, what's going on? And my grandpa had said that the smoke alarm went off. So they were just checking stuff out. And, I was 8, so I didn't really understand. I was like, whatever, just went back to sleep for a little while. And I still heard stuff, and I woke up again. And I remember my dad was searching through a filing cabinet. And I had asked him where my mom was because she wasn't home. And he said that she stayed late at work because apparently there was like a big boss coming in the next couple days. So, helping out with that or something. So I did not know anything. I did not find out until the afternoon of October 1st, after school.
So you'd gone to school like any
Right.
other day.
Yeah.
But at
I
the
went
end
to
of the
school that
day-
morning, normal, I'm not sure, either grandma or my dad brought me to school, and I went to school that day normal, just thinking my mom was at work and I'd see her when I got out of school, and that was not the case.
So you find out about this. I know you told me before. There's a group of people that sat down with you. I'm assuming that's when they broke the news to you. Do you
Right.
remember what your initial reaction as an 8-year-old was? Was it, well, what do you mean? I mean, like, how did had to take some processing?
It was the end of the day, it was dismissal. I was pulled into this office at my elementary school and there was just a bunch of adults at this table, and I had this room I'd never been in, and all these people I didn't know, and my dad was sitting right next to me at the table, and I was like, what's going on? And he ended up saying, Mommy's missing. And he just started crying. And I knew it was something bad. My dad was crying and Mommy's missing. In my mind, I'm thinking that's bad, where's my mom? But, in reality, I don't actually, understand, what's going on. And I remember crying. I remember just being confused.
That whole experience, I mean, you talk about it, and it seems like you still have really good details. I mean, 13 years goes by, people's memories can fade, they get a little, but it seems like you still remember it like it was yesterday. Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine it wouldn't still be.
I
with you,
can, yeah.
Good, you're gonna say you can.
I can, it's like I can almost remember every single detail where every single person was sitting at that table. You know, I remember it was a rectangular table, and my dad was sitting on the end, and my principal was at this end, and I was right here, and my teacher, and like all these. There was like, I can't exactly remember the other people that were in there, but there was just all these adults. I had no idea who they were.
As the years have gone on, what I can talk me through how your feelings have changed, how your thoughts have changed about what may have happened. Like you said, initially it was mommy's missing.
Yeah.
Where are you at today?
I mean, growing older and developing more thoughts and, you know, being fed thoughts from people and really just trying.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna silence it.
It's okay.
You're okay.
What did you ask me?
So, you know, initially at 8 years old, you're told mommy's missing, and you said, I knew mom's missing.
Oh, right.
To
So,
now,
yeah.
at 21, are your thoughts mom is still missing? Are your thoughts something else happened?
I feel like the thoughts I want to have are that, you know, she's alive and well and she's going to come back. But you also have those thoughts sometimes where, you know, maybe something bad really did happen and we just don't know. And I personally like to believe that my mom will come back.
Is that what your gut tells you?
Yeah.
That she'll come back?
I feel like, well, no. Somebody just knows something.
You're convinced someone knows something?
Yeah. And as much as I say I want, you know, she will come back. You can't, you know, 100% say that.
So you want to believe that she's out
Right.
there and will come home.
Right.
But I sense you have an inner struggle.
It's just been a really long time. So it's hard to, you know, really believe that still.
You know. Tell me about your mom. One of the things that I like to make sure people get out of these stories is that they get to know the person a little.
I wish I could.
I know you're at 8 years old. Your memories are.
I wish I could tell you about my mom, Jerry. That's one of the things that really sucks. Is that I was 8, and my mom worked all the time, to make sure that I was good and that I had what I needed. And that's all that she cared about, was making sure I was okay and that, you know, the bills were paid and I had food on the table and clothes. And from, you know, other people telling me about her, they, you know, would always say how much of a hard worker she is. And I work at the Dunkin' Donuts that my mom used to work at when she was pregnant with me. And she had me and she started working at this Dunkin' Donuts. And we have the same bosses. Like, it's the same boss now. So, you know, he always compares me to my mom and how much of a hard worker she was and how much of a hard worker I am. So.
Okay, everyone, we are gonna fix the camera. We are going to leave this one here for right at the minute. This is going to be a multi-part thing. I have to do something real fast anyway, so I'll be back up here in about half hour, 45, if not less. I have to do a couple of things. Yeah, I know. It's the day before my birthday, so I got to do a few things. So we will get back into this. Keep eyes out for the new one. Here soon. It will be under the same title. Dude, I'm gonna go over all of it, so I don't want to hear it. So shut up. I will be back in, like I said, about a half hour, 45. But much love. I'll see you guys very soon. I have to do something. Tomorrow's my birthday. But much love. Hopefully,